picking up. Okay.
What it do? What it do, Moody?
What's up? What's up?
Out here, nice day.
It is
70 degrees. Got my hoodie up just because my hair is not that done well. So, but not that bad.
Speaking of number 70, this is our episode 70.
Yeah.
So for this, we got Hall of Famer Sam Huff from the Giants.
And Commanders.
Yeah, and Commander. Zach Martin. We know he's going in the Hall of Fame. Dennis Rodman.
Okay.
And Will Coakley, Kansas State linebacker, 3-year starter, won the championship. Oh, USFL famous guy. Okay. There you go. Episode 70. So what you got for the Percy? I really ain't got none. So
yeah, mine is back from the movies. We saw 3 movies this week. 2 of them kind of similar genre. Apparently, there's a genre called like woman, like horror or like distress, where it's like something related. So like both your girl Rose Byrne, she had a movie. If I had legs, I'd kick you.
Mm-hmm.
That was really good.
I feel like I watched that trailer.
Yeah, that was fun. And then I watched the new Jennifer Lawrence as well, Die My Love, which is also good. But I didn't pick up that like half the stuff that we're seeing is like her visions and not actually happening. And I'm like, oh, I totally missed that watching it through the movie. So I was like, it's not a movie I would say like you'd want to watch on repeat, but I'm like, I would watch it again just to see if like, okay, with a better understanding of what the movie was showing me. I just took everything for face value. But I was like, but either way, the one I wanted to talk about, which one I really enjoyed, surprisingly, Predator Badland. Are you a fan of the Predator franchise?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've only seen the first one, and I've seen like a couple of like maybe 1 or 2 of the other ones throughout the series,
I don't have everything like locked into memory like I do with Star Wars. Yeah. But I know I've seen all the movies and like, you know, some are better than others, obviously.
Yeah. I watched through IGN, they put up like a 30-minute video of like the Predator franchise through chronological timeline. And it helped really understand. You don't really need it for the new one, but seeing it through, and this is the first one I've seen with the new director, Dan Trachtenberg, because I haven't watched Prey yet or Killers of the Killer.
Yeah. Killer of Killers was
Killer of Killers. But yeah, this was surprisingly really good. I really enjoyed it. I'd highly recommend watching it because it's one of those ones where it's like I can understand there's certain elements where I can understand like people won't enjoy, where it's like, oh, they kind of, because the movie takes place from the Predator's perspective. He's the protagonist in a situation. Yeah. And so you kind of humanize the Predator compared to other ones where he's just like a deadly killer, just always on the hunt.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, as they would say on the Ringerverse, a lot of pluckiness.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
And it's a lot.
I'm assuming that's coming from the robot.
There's a lot of laughs.
Yeah. From the robot seemed real sarcastic in the trailer.
Yeah, the Elle Fanning, like her, and there's also kind of like
that is Elle Fanning,
a Grogu character.
Oh, okay.
In the film as well, where it's like, oh, okay, like he's cute as well, or she's cute, but like it overall, really fun Predator movie. Yeah. Really fun. Definitely recommend checking it out, especially if you can in theaters, because visually is really dope. Because he goes to the death planet to go track down this basically like unkillable beast.
Nice.
And the planet itself is well designed, and like even the stuff that like the elements that he has to kind of have to deal with, they have like this thing called like razor glass, where it's like razor grass, and it's pretty much the name as itself. It's like
it sounds like it does exactly what you think.
You're gonna be chopped up. You know what I'm saying? Unless you got like the skin toughness to kind of deal with it. He does not. So it's crazy, but
as I do got a Percy actually. I know I mentioned this off pod, but like, well, you know, my birthday is next week.
Yeah,
about to be 35, and man, I got this neck strain.
Yeah,
man, you talk about just feeling older. Like immediately, like they just say like literally the switch flips at like 35, and I'm like, yo, why do I feel like I got whiplash right now? When I just slept wrong.
I'm like a good like stretch routine that you kind of do on a daily basis, even if it's like only like a 5 to 10 minute one, but like I said, a quick little yoga stretch in the morning or whenever that you could just kind of pull out.
Yeah. So if people see me like grabbing at my neck, that's why.
Yeah.
You know, so that's my Percy.
But yeah, let's get into the show. That was fun intro.
Doors opening. Step back to allow customers to exit.
Hey, yeah, my tag. Episode 70 of the Wrestling Rehab Podcast. No pop-ups this week.
Thank goodness.
Finally.
Yeah.
A little bit of a break. The next one is what? Full Gear?
Yeah.
That's the 22nd.
22nd.
And then Survivor Series happens like the 29th or something like that. It's like Thanksgiving weekend.
Okay.
I think. But yeah, no pop-ups. We do have, I guess, like I said, a pop-up show to cover, but again, it's at Super Saturday Night's main event, and we don't really keep track of those. But we did have a no contest. You won though.
Mm-hmm.
Full 5-0, 4-0.
4-0, only 4 matches
on the card. We both got Cody over Drew, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of played out as we kind of thought it would with shenanigans, but ref not seeing it and things of that nature. You picked correctly that Jade would win, and Jade did defeat Tiffany to become the new WWE Women's Champion in a deciding fashion. Pretty much just squashed her.
Yeah, I mean, because it's funny because originally I was thinking Tiff, but I was like, no. I mean, how would they give Jade the title? Like, where are we at in the year? And like, how long does it need to be? Because it's like immediately. I mean, I'm not gonna jump ahead, but we got like a face off basically immediately, on SmackDown with her coming out and just, celebrating just very quickly. But yeah, it was very decisive. I think the only offense that like I can picture, I remember Tiffany getting in. I remember getting her one of her top rope sentons off.
Yeah,
and I really can't remember too much after that.
Not much.
It was like because even I think she was trying to. I think she also maybe did a suicide dive to the outside. Like I remember they were, or she like jumped from the turnbuckle, but Jay was on the outside.
She got like less than 5 minutes of like genuine offense. Like she had like one kind of, I feel like, burst
sequence.
And then after that, Jade just went back to just squashing her.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Jade is the new WWE Women's Champion.
Yeah.
And I thought like obviously she could win it. I didn't doubt it. I figured that the heel turn just happened, that you might want to just stretch this out through a no disqualification, and you kind of run this back at like Survivor Series, and that's where Jade would get it. But it makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a Saturday night's main event,
especially in the manner in which they did it, it's like, okay, if you really want to sell this person as a genuine threat, like let her get the Brock Lesnar, package,
and have like once again like the tagline. Like I said, they definitely want to have some type of tagline or like this happened at Saturday night's main event. However predictable it is, it'll still be a moment, or they're trying to convince us of that, and that's where I was like, okay, this is probably more likely than not, because if she loses to Tiffany twice in a row, where is Jade at? You know what I'm saying? So that's not going to be a good look for her. Now we're looking at who's the other challengers at that point. So that's why I picked her. But in a Saturday night's main event, I was like, how would they give her first title reign?
Makes sense. You called it. Dom retained
for sure
his Intercontinental Championship against Penta and Rusev. Predictable.
Yep. With the cheating shenanigans, still great. Love the throwing the chair at Rusev and falling on the ground, and it's like, it's a triple threat match. It doesn't matter. And then, or actually, he didn't even fall down, but like the ref was like, that doesn't matter. And then like Rusev just hits him with it. And I was like, yeah, that was cool to see like it backfiring on him. Like you're not all the way on top of your game, but still, even the smart. I liked how smart he was using the ring bell.
Yeah,
like ringing the ring bell when Rusev had the accolade on Penta and like made him think that he won, but he didn't. So, great show.
Great event is there are some creative ways that he's been scheming to like get out of these matches and whatnot, or come out with the outcome in these matches. That I'm like, all right, give credit where credit's due. He might be doing an Eddie homage, but he still has his own spin on like how he's doing it and how crafty he's been as far as like stealing these wins. So credit to Dom, like he's been killing it. That's that for me. With going back to the curious part, the curious case of Dom, is I'm like, okay, like that is as close I can say, like where I'm like, all right, that's where the character is getting more of the pop, more than the non-kayfabe element of Dom.
For sure. And then In the main event, I was right again, like as you said already, 4-0.
Yeah.
Punk ended up winning the World Heavyweight Championship, and I always keep track of stuff and badges. I was like, damn, he's got diamond at this point too. With I mean, also in 2K you got Galaxy Opal and like made up shit that's like higher than diamond. So I guess now I got to scale it up where Sammy has Galaxy Opal and Jay took 5 GTSs to actually go down, and I was like, yo, come on now, because we started getting that like. I consider it a cheesy sequence when you do the GTS. I'm dazed off of the ropes and back onto you. I was like, bro, because when he got that off with Seth, I was already like, I didn't realize he had done it previously. So I was like, watching him beat Seth, I was like, all right. But
I think if you're making it make sense, it's the fact that he does it next to the ropes, that he knows that the rebound is going to come.
Sure.
Like you're setting it for the rebound and not just like it's not unexpected.
And I guess you could also do more of a lift and push off versus dropping them, because also like the GTS, the great cells I love is like, the knee comes down and the gravity keeps going. They just drop and die. But either way, 5 GTSs to go down, like, yeah, I was like, nigga, you ain't getting up. I was like, nah, not at that point. And CM Punk is a 7-time champion.
Yeah, and he still has the belt.
Yeah.
There's no cash-ins coming in.
Yeah. It's already been cashed in. So that was Saturday night's main event.
No contest, as usual, because, again, overall, even Bleach Report just gave most of the matches C.
Yeah, my thought, even just now, like, I know you're trying to bring up, like, additives and stuff, and I'm like, because I agree that Saturday night's main event is way too predictable, where I was like, maybe we'll put Saturday night's main event for the year as a bonus category. I feel like we'll probably have a lot of ties on it, and then that'll just be like 1 point, like at the end of the year. For like,
whoever wins like the
total of just Saturday night's main event, because I think there's gonna be more ties on Saturday night's main event than anything else for sure, and also the cards are shorter. So, but that was a quick thought. But yeah, well, you got it at C, something like that. Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah. Again, like the Jade one was interesting. Like I like that match probably the most. But even that is just like I get what they're trying to do, but it's still there's still like, again, it's no fault of Jade. Like she's still green in certain aspects of her game. But again, it's like there is a lot of potential that you can't just have that on NXT.
Yeah. Oh, obviously.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have to kind of work through that on TV. And so I'm not mad at it. I think the way the match played off is, like I said, it's kind of like give her the Brock Lesnar package. She got the Brock Lesnar package as far as like how that match is supposed to look like.
Yeah.
But I don't know if she effectively communicated it. And that's not against her. I think it's just more of like some of it just doesn't look as smooth.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. But you get more time to actually go through, a certain kind of gain your rhythm, especially being the champ. I think you'll see some of that kind of start looking a little bit more smoother in the next few months.
Yeah. I mean, she's going to get it's WWE. Obviously, she's going to get the best coaching and stuff. So,
yeah, but
I got faith in her.
But I do think like there's going to be a lot more times where she's going to be in the ring by herself, and she's going to have to be the one guiding matches, like against the one in BFAB that she's going to have on probably next week.
Yeah.
I'm like, I imagine her going to demolish BFAB, but it's going to look a lot more smooth, because I imagine there's going to be a certain part where BFAB is going to get her offense in, and it's going to require her to sell and make it look good. And so just the fact that there's going to be in situations where she's kind of going to have to lead in the dance.
I like the thought of, like, I guess slight sidestep, but this is a different conversation, still related to this, but like, I like the thought of like, as a champion, you have your rogues gallery, right?
Yeah.
Because Jade is in a different generation than even Tiffany. I would say that they are still superstars around the same time, but Tiffany was in NXT, and really came up through the system and was raised that way, versus Jade, being a convert, I guess you would say, with her wrestling history, and also having a very short wrestling background or history prior to WWE, that we know historically in wrestling, you're gonna run house shows and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that we're getting BFAB versus Jade, it's like they've had 5 matches already at this point. So like, I like the thought of like, oh, they probably have a really good chemistry. Where I was thinking, oh, Jade's gonna have to call the matches, and I'm like, this is gonna be, as we've seen her. But assuming that they've had these matches and they're building chemistry, there probably will be a good match. It'll just be more so intriguing to see Jade's progress as like the lead in the dance. I guess so. That's where my whole thought came to. There you go. That's the last thing I want to say.
I know. Well, we'll talk more about Jade, I think, later on in the show.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's get into the flagship show, Monday Night Raw.
Lita. So I don't know how I missed this. Like, your primo. I had that blank for the show.
Yeah.
But, I guess I missed Becky's promo.
Yeah, it was kind of just like she kind of jumped in, like they were like shots to commentary, and then she just kind of grabbed the mic, came through the crowd, and just like stood on the table and just kind of cut a promo, just talking about how, she's still the best, and everybody says it's true, even Sports Illustrated. Just kind of just running her current gimmick. She was also talking about mentioned how Jessica Carr has been, against her in a lot of these decisions, and like that's unfair and whatnot, and talking about Maxine, like just basically a lot of it. Why is primo is because Becky, I think, is pretty much in one of her best character phases. Like mixing, it's like a version of the man mixed with this ego of like Trumpism, where it's just like when she says like everybody's like I'm the best, everybody says it's true, even Sports Illustrated and stuff like that. It's just the same kind of way that she kind of talks and gasses herself up feels like Trumpish in a kind of like South Parkian way.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
satirical way.
Yeah, I was gonna say kind of like, oh, Drew comes to my head. Like, well, Drew, his thing is complaining, but like the way that she's gotten like she doesn't complain as much as like being braggadocious in that same way. That's where like kind of she's really gotten that over, where it's like, oh, this is all I need.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Just like Drew can come out and be like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. I should be out there, But he's also still has those funny moments of like, I keep referencing, I wake up in my big house next to my sexy wife and look in the mirror and I'm like, God damn, you're jacked and sexy, Drew. What are you so mad about? I love that. Like, that's one of my favorite promos he ever did. And it's like, Becky did that exact same thing. It's like, I have my adorable, cute ass daughter, my sexy ass, champion. The same thing. So.
But I thought it was a fun promo. It was a great promo, and I like the fact that she acknowledged all these different things, especially the ref being biased and whatnot.
Fast counting her,
and then just continuing to call out Maxine, and I just feel like we're definitely gonna get that surprise of like Maxine dethroning Becky Lynch, and then Becky Lynch is gonna have this huge shock face and whatnot of like her losing her title to Maxine.
Yeah, that's gonna be great whenever it does happen.
That was my primo.
So let me go. I'll say my favorite thing on the show is actually the Kabuki Warriors getting the win over Lyra and Bailey.
Yeah.
Because I'm an Asuka stan.
Yeah.
And then also I really didn't know. I mean, obviously they've been tormenting the tag team champions a lot. And I guess they're just saying that we got to bake a little bit more with Lyra and Bailey, but this really took me. The result of this put immediately in my mind. I guess that's why, because this kind of could be shake, but my thought is like, where does that leave Lyra and Bailey? I think it's kind of 2 birds with 1 stone. Where immediately I put it in my head where it's like, oh well, Bailey's just going to turn on Lyra, and that's the match that we're going to get, and we're also going to get Kabuki Warriors versus the tag champs. Or at least as the serious contenders for right now.
I can see them set up for a War Games.
Okay.
Especially with like what we know it's happening on SmackDown with, spoiler, Nia Jax and Lash Legend being a tag team. Like you pretty much got 4 right there on the heel side as far as the Kabuki Warriors, Nia Jax and Lash Legend versus Bailey, Lyra, Charlotte, and Alexa on the other side.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, is it 5-on-5?
Maybe 5-on-5. I don't know.
That's fine. We can just decide that later. But either way, that does look. That would be a good booking for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, But I would like to see Bailey and Lyra. I mean,
Maybe
they've
you add
already done it,
Jade
but
and Stephanie back here.
I'll just have them in the match too.
Yeah, the champions as
Mm.
well in that
Okay.
match. Because
Sure.
Jade could be on the heel side on SmackDown.
She could be.
Like, you know what
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's not like
and then Stephanie could be on the other side with
because it's
Charlotte
not
and
the
Alexa.
brand loyalty Survivor Series anymore. So yeah, you could just work it to be heels and faces. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I had that too. That was probably the best match I had on here. Was that? That is actually the best match I had on the show. Was the Kabuki Warrior. And again, as much slack, I was like, man, I really don't want to see. I'd rather see them in their singles run. Like, I'm here for this version of the Kabuki Warriors. I think they're legitimate threats, and I do think they're eventually going to win the women's championships.
Yeah, I just hope it doesn't get to the Judgment Day level where it's like, how many times are we gonna be like? I mean, obviously, it's nowhere close to like being worn out or anything. I mean, the Judgment Day have been a faction for like 3 years now and been champions for like what feels like 2 years of that time, at least in some degree, whether it's tag team champions, intercontinental champions, or world champions. They've been holding gold. But I would like to see the rivalry, but if that's the case, then we need to do some handoffs, like trade it back and forth. And I don't know how much we're gonna do that.
I mean, you could. I mean, between that, I think you again
because you don't want to feel repetitive.
I think Nia and Lash can hold it after that. I think there are definitely some tag teams that you can build and hold that.
Yeah,
and you could do that again with Bailey and Lyra.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So Ruka and Zarya.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe Candice LeRae finds a partner.
Gotta think about like Maxine Dupree and Natalia.
Yeah, that could definitely happen, especially with Maxine's development.
Yep.
So there's definitely threats. This is where you're kind of just reestablishing history too. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I guess because my thought process is, guys, because you go through the cycle of like, all right, we beat everybody, that's predictable, and then you can bring Kabuki Warriors back after this initial challenge, and then restart it again, and it hopefully won't feel like repetitive, I guess, at that point. But next up here, Dom's promo with Ray.
Yeah, I thought it was fun.
Ray coming back and standing on business.
Yeah, and I hope this leads into like a face mask retirement match for Ray.
I was wondering. I had that same thought.
If you are getting, maybe they're gonna long build this to WrestleMania, and this would be like their third match at like WrestleMania because they like fought
second
one. Well, if this is like Ray's retirement match and it's like for his face mask and it'd be his retirement, that'd be dope.
I think it's an even longer build than that, where it's next WrestleMania, not this one. Like, and even if we were to do that, the series right now is Ray has beat Dom already. I mean, you could put it, unless we do it where Ray's never held the AAA championship, so you could do it like championship versus career or mask. You know what I'm saying? And do it that way, and he'll retire. Which that's the only way I see us getting there. I mean, Intercontinental really doesn't make sense to me. I feel like that's a different division. That's clearly AAA is clearly the Hispanic division. So have Ray challenge for that and have him lose, that would make sense to me. But that would also even the series where it's 1-1.
Yeah, but I think when you have those stakes like that, and
hopefully that's why I put it on.
I think that kind of like a +1 on there.
It does. That's why I put it on there, because it doesn't make sense for them to go 1-on-1 again with Ray, or like normally 1-on-1 without any stakes.
Yeah,
because Ray's so you have to elevate it. So put the title on the line, and
they might have another match at like Royal Rumble before that, so there could be a point where Dom ties it up.
Yeah. And then my thought is, or you don't even have to put the mask on the line at that point, because you put the title on the line at AAA, he loses, and then next WrestleMania, he's like, "I'll put my mask," which we know as a luchador is putting your career on the line, and then he loses again. So that's the extra long build. But yes, I'm here for a Ray mask retirement.
But if that happens, like, you're not having a whole storyline from WrestleMania 42 to 43. Like there's no 12-month build after that. You gotta take like a 8-month build and come back again November around this time, where you're like right now. Like, I feel like you can't. I'm not here for another year of Dominic and Ray interacting.
I don't think it'll necessarily be that long where you can bring it back. I mean, he's talking about being king of the luchadors, and you can put your dad on the shelf or something. This was a return for Ray, so like He can work these next 3 months, and then Dom will put him on the shelf and like break his leg or something.
Yeah.
In kayfabe, we don't see him for 6 months, and then we run it until WrestleMania, and then it's like the last 6 months.
Yeah.
We slow burn it, even though it's not really a slow burn because we know what's coming. But
Yeah.
there you go. That's the extra long build, like I said. But either way, if it comes this year, I would just be like, okay, I just hope this 4 months we got left is really potent with him then. Because at this moment, Dom is saying, don't mention my father like that when he says you're not better than Eddie Guerrero. And that was just the funniest part, also leaning into that. So
Yeah. Hey, maybe he eliminates Ray in the Royal Rumble.
yeah, that's always like a low-key like main event match, like or de facto matches between people for builds. So, yeah.
Maybe Ray eliminates Dom, but then Dom doesn't leave and then eliminates Ray.
Yeah.
From
That's exactly what Dom would do for sure. He wouldn't let him get away with that. Yeah, I think we chewed on that pretty good. My other mid that I had up here was Dragon Lee and AJ Styles retaining because you got to get the run back.
Yeah.
Even though like rematch clauses don't exist, but just to fill up the match card, Judgment Day, pretty predictable. That's why I had it at the bottom of the mid. So, but yeah, still a good match though. Yeah. Dragon Lee's hot tag was fire.
I'm glad they retained.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't imagine.
I didn't think they were gonna lose,
yeah,
but the fact that just let Judgment Day be away from the tag team titles for a bit.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I had. But I would have that at like a mid stable. The other two are mid risings.
Yeah,
for sure.
I did have some Reggie, and call me a hater.
This was a shake for me,
but just the pure fact that Logan Paul's back, that's the Reggie for me.
Okay,
I'm not here for it. As soon as the music hit, I was like, I'm good. I don't care. I'm sorry, CM Punk, that this is your first storyline coming out as champion is to have to deal with Logan Paul. Yeah. I would have been fine if it was just for Braun Breaker. Like, I get why Logan Paul's here. And that's what every time he's on TV, like, okay, you're here for brand boosting. And yeah, they might give you a storyline, but I don't care because this storyline is only going to run for like a month and a half, and then you're gone for whenever you need a brand boost again.
Yeah, my thought is I had this as a shake because I felt like it was pretty interesting because we get this in the opening segment where CM Punk is celebrating. And spinning the title over his head like Seth would and sending shots out to him. And the Vision come down to beat his ass. And then we get Logan Paul coming to talk shit. And then the Vision coming to beat his ass because they're like, hey, make a choice. Which I think that's probably going to be, I like that as Braun Breaker's new catchphrase. If he's just going to actually just lean on that, be like, just make a choice. Like, I like that. It's just keep it simple, you know? Because he's like an ass woman is coming. You're going to get super speared in half. And even found it comedic when he high school bullies Logan Paul
walking away.
Yeah. That gets under Logan's skin. And in the beginning segment, turns face to help out CM Punk. And they just both get their ass beat. But, CM Punk gets a chair. All right, cool. Sets up the main event. And in the main event, Logan Paul turns on CM Punk, which I just saw in the vacuum of the show. I was like, as you said, why would you? Because it's only been this episode, so it's like, why would you trust it? We didn't have any type of buildup of Logan Paul being a good person.
Yeah.
So it's like, that was just dumb. And then why it was shake or somewhat interesting to me was I interpreted this storyline wise as Logan Paul trying to join the Vision. Or also, realistically, I effectively believe it's going to be what you think, where it's just a short alliance because you're just extending out sort of refresh on the Vision just to get another floozy in here for a pay-per-view cycle, real quick to carry War Games or whatever the repetitive shit it's going to be up until, Braun wins the championship or whoever wins the title.
But again, if they're both trying to get the championship, how's that going to work between Braun Breaker and Logan Paul?
Logan Paul's not a serious contender. That's what I said. He's just there for the cycle, as a Vision. And I'm not saying he's going to challenge for the championship. I'm just saying he's like Grayson Waller with the New Day right now. That's what he is.
I think
Like,
I
Grayson
think
Waller
at
is-
this point, I think you could definitely see Logan Paul winning the championship and holding that until WrestleMania.
That's gross, but I wouldn't even go that far. But that's the darkest timeline. I mean, but yeah, that's what I was thinking. But I was like, temporary alliance. I agree. I don't care because it's not. I see it as an extension on just the vision. Like, because Braun's gonna win the title if I had to pick next. So
I would think so too, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was a triple threat that Logan ends up sneaking away with the title.
yeah, that'd be gross. I can't wait for you to choose that on whichever pay per view that is. That's gonna come up soon. So
Maybe Survivor Series, but or they could be put in a War Games match. There's 3 right now on Paul Heyman's side.
Yeah.
So you would need at least, if it's 5, you would need to find 2 more people.
Does Braun want to do it, or Bronson Reed, and not Braun? Does Bronson want to do it again after breaking his freaking foot or breaking
Probably
his
want to do
ankle?
that same move. But,
Yeah. The tsunami off the top. That was insane.
But yeah. And then Punk has Jay probably there, LA Knight.
Sure. Yeah. Whoever's beating
maybe
with the
Jimmy.
Vision. Best case scenario, Roman.
No, Roman said you're not gonna be there until Christmas.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he didn't say that.
So
not him, but yeah, we can figure out who's gonna be later on. That don't really matter. But that's all I got for Raw. You got anything else?
No, that's it. Okay. Let's go to the Bodega, NXT. Pretty chill show. I enjoyed it. I think the best match that we both agreed upon here was Javon Evans over Saquon Sugars.
Yeah, and Saquon once again stands out to be, or I just said it, the quiet part out loud, but like he's the only one that I even still recognize from Dark State. And he wasn't even one of the 2 that won the tag team championships, but he has the most unique look and is definitely the best actual in ring. Clearly,
and best talker and all that.
Like, and he's the best.
He's easily the star of the thing, but he's being used to kind of catapult a lot of these or build up a lot of these other guys within Dark State.
Yeah, he's the Kenny of the Spirit Squad.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he is. No offense to the other guys, but yeah, this was. I mean,
where you mean Nikki?
Nikki, is that what Dolph's name was?
I think it was.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Kenny was Kenny Dykstra.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. But yeah, I think we need to like. I mean, this is a bad thought, I guess, because we already had the Randy Orton and Javon match. Like he's clearly, like I said, that match was for the inheritance of the RKO or the diving cutter, effectively. Saquon sold it perfectly, like amazingly. But at this point, I was just like, man, he can't never put nobody down with just one of those. Like that.
Hey, you got to build up the aura level on it, man.
I guess that's true, but it put it in my head where I was like, he is putting muscle on. He still needs at least, I guess, another 10 more pounds, however long it's going to take. But I was thinking another non-diving finisher. That's the first time I got put in my head where I was like, he might need something else. But
I mean that spinning splash that he does.
That's the other one. But that's both high flying.
Yeah.
So non-diving, but because I think that one's just called bouncy. I'm pretty sure when he does that.
Probably, yeah.
And but he says it both times. Like for each one of those moves, he says it. But either way, just a thought that I had, but still the best match. Yeah,
still best match on here. You had a lot more on your mids.
Yeah.
We did agree upon Even Page, Chelsea Green, AAA mixed tag team champions that they won on Monday?
Yeah. Another title that the WWE has taken. Like, and now
they won it from Mr. Iguana and El Hydra.
Yep. And now they're the most. They're gonna be over as like the most dominant, teammates in North America. That's the entire continent. They're the best on the continent because you got Mexican championships, you got the women's U.S. title for the second time. Hate to spoil it ahead, but that's happened. And Ethan Page has rebranded the North American title as the Canadian title a little bit, with the straps. So, and she's from Canada. Chelsea Green on top of that. So
that's why I really enjoyed because like there was the Joe Hendry and Thea Hale aspect of it. I was like, I could take it or leave it, but just them celebrating and just their two characters just blend perfectly well. But I'm like, yeah, this is fun.
Just like that whole segment, like you said, even before
Yeah.
Joe Hendry, just the segment of them like being ready and using his gimmick against him.
Yeah.
Basically, I thought that was real funny. They're just both there with bats,
Yeah.
like
The whole time there's like triple and I'm like, yo, y'all are hilarious.
yeah.
So
Canada's on a hot streak. They're putting on for Canada
for sure.
Yeah, I had the next thing I was most interested in that had to put this in there for the mid was actually Zarya beating Ren Sinclair in the speed tournament, just because this is just the continuation of legit storyline. That's the same reason that the other one I put in here was mid, because at least it's not wasted motion. These are things that matter. So, however much the speed title matters, but like we know we've been building
trying to
to
make
this.
it matter.
Well, yeah, specifically, this is the first time it has mattered, where it's been like also in conjunction with a storyline of like characters that we care about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not just online or off screen title changes. Like they're holding the speed title on screen, And like having last week when Soul's like, nah, I don't want nobody to defend it for me.
Yeah.
And Zarya wins anyway. So I'm like, that matters. And it was good enough too. So and the same thing goes with like Fatal Influence beating the Culling. And really this is just same thing, like just ripe for the betrayal where Tatum Paxley ducks out of the way when JC Jane's coming in with her rolling encore, and Izzy Dame takes the L for that tag, or that was a trios match, I believe.
Yeah, it was.
Who's the other one for on the
Lola Vice?
Lola Vice, yeah, okay, that makes sense. She's not a heel, but she got beef with Fatal Influence just for the match sake, but that was really for the legwork of just continuing.
Yeah, Tatum Paxley's not a heel either. It's Izzy Dame that's the heel.
Yeah, I think that's true. Tatum is more. Yeah,
her faction might be a heel.
Yeah, her
we
faction
don't know.
is
We don't know the
heelish,
rest of the other, Sean Spears and the others. They're fearless.
Because that storyline is actually
they might stick with Tatum, and let Izzy go by herself.
Yeah, because it has been them manipulating her up until this point. Because she was so vulnerable when her tag team partners have left her.
Yeah.
But and then she collects the dolls of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her crazy girl. But yeah, that was my NXT that mattered really. And actually, no, the last thing was Reggie. Boy, we both fucking chuckled. I couldn't help but laugh. For those of y'all that haven't seen it, I know I mentioned it previously as a Percy. Go watch, Black creator stuff. My lesbian homie, this guy, Big Jaw, his YouTube universe he's come up with, he's all over Tubi. Watch all that stuff. But Kaylani, like her promo as a heel was given Tubi acting. It was given like nobody can touch me. Every woman here is on notice.
Yeah.
And like you talk about the most predictable like line reading of all time. You can call me undersized. You can call me underrated or something. I don't know what she said, but the last thing, I just know where it's going. But you better call me champion. And I'm like, oh my God, you are a plank. You are a plank out there, actually.
This is where, again, they're still working on it, man. They're still working on it.
This is why you got to stay in developmental. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Like, yeah, like there was extra, like I was already good.
It's no different than Jade. Jade the exact same way. And so,
she just got such a look that you have to put her on the main roster. The same thing with Trick, where I was done with Trick on NXT, 6 months ago. And then, they put a dash of like Trick and A, and okay, cool. We got a new heel, new funky version.
Black Dynamite.
Yeah, Black Dynamite. Yeah, exactly. He put a more flair on his character. And I'm like, okay, this is even more polished. He did get better. So it's not like it's wasted time.
Yeah.
But I'm still ready for him to leave. But yeah, Kaylani, for sure. Like I said, she ain't ready. TNA champion or not. But I'm sure I'll enjoy her matches. But yeah, like you said, she's still working on it. Just work on it some more. But maybe the TNA title actually got some flair to it, since you gotta work some more stuff. We just seen it happen.
And again, it's the rivalry because she got shunned by the NXT roster. they wouldn't let her in the locker room and stuff like that. So
Mm.
again, I do think it's early, but I do think there's some potential there that I think it's gonna like. Again, I think a lot of it's like it does feel very rehearsed. Where, like
Yeah,
I'm reading the line
yeah,
rather than
exactly.
like actually, you know,
Pushing the character through these lines.
yeah,
Yeah, that's yeah, because I feel that's exactly what it is. It feels like line reading.
yeah.
But that's what like without even saying anything, we just looked at each other and chuckled
Mhm.
like when we were watching that segment. Like, but that's all I got for NXT.
All right. It's a clean week. I'm really on the news front. Not too much news. I feel like I didn't add any. So we can go straight
Yeah,
into
true.
the coffee shop. AEW Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
Thought it was a really good show. Same primos.
For sure.
Which one do you want to start off with?
I'm gonna go Claudio
Yeah,
and Orange Cassidy.
I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that. That's probably maybe I don't know the Mercedes and Athena match versus Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale. That was also really good. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but yeah, I mean Claudio is just really impressive, and then Orange Cassidy as well. Like the last finishing sequence where he tosses him up, and then Superman punches, and then he has to go back, tosses him up, and then immaculate fucking
European uppercut.
European uppercut is just like man, Claudio is just such a physical tank.
Yeah, he's such like a once again you think about Natalia, like good pair of hands too.
Yeah.
Like I think that's also the thing with like Moxley. Is
Mhm.
like, man, both of those guys are like so just steady in the ring, and you're just gonna get like banger. Like as far as like in ring and let alone like, the Swiss
There's
Superman.
not much slippage.
Yeah, exactly.
With Claudio and like the likes of those.
I really want we're putting this on wax even more so, but I really want Claudio to push for like a title. Like a world title.
He should
and
be
like
going after the AEW World Championship.
and
And
even
I think again to your point, we were talking about off pod about like maybe just kind of pushing Moxley out of the Death Riders and kind of taking the lead. I think that might work.
yeah. Or I like that. Because the thing is like I truly think Moxley, like his character, would respect the fucking you knocking me off aspect of it, because that's what he's been asking for, and the guy's just been next to him the entire time, right?
Yeah.
But that's why I was like, would I actually kick Moxley off TV, or would I think I would honestly keep Moxley there and just have him like legit be second in command, like them trade spots. I think that could work, where you can have a character shift.
I think
Moxley.
you could go either direction. I do think
It's,
there's a way where like you eliminate him real quickly, and to make a point that this is your show, or like you kind of try to like little bro him,
especially
and then build that kind of heel turn.
Yeah, especially with Moxley being 4-time champion. Like he will beat Claudio for the championship at some point, whenever that implosion would happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think that would be a great story, but because like, it's like he's okay with it, but it's like no, he's not. Or something like that. But maybe that's a little bit too telegraphed.
I think there's a way you could do it, but
yeah,
that was here for that Claudio Orange Cassidy match. And like I said, the other match that we had as Primo was the tag team tournament match of Athena and Mercedes versus Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale. Willow and Harley got the win.
Yeah,
with Harley pinning Athena.
And I was like, immediately she's getting a Ring of Honor title shot. Clearly next week that's going to be happening, or whenever like Ring of Honor is recording, or maybe they'll do that on Collision. But yeah, pinning the forever champion, like regardless of show, it's like it's tough because you're like, all right, yeah, who's taking the pin? And like knowing that it's a temporary alliance between like, because Mercedes and Athena have tagged before, but they're both individual, stars. I mean, I would say the same thing with Harley and Willow, but they're more believable as a tag team to me, because I've been booking for Mercedes to like be eyeing Athena's title anyway. That's a fucking great ass storyline if she takes her down for that.
But I give her a reason to now.
But yeah, Athena was really on fire. I think she was actually the superstar of the whole thing, because like anytime she comes, I think she does understand she's toiling away on Ring of Honor, and ain't nobody watching that shit. Like but anytime she's on Dynamite, she's like the fucking best in our goddamn ring. She made Harley's her finishing move, which is I'm gonna say I'm not here for that kayfabe. I'm not here for that level of it. At least name it.
Yeah.
But making that like reverse sort of like I don't know, sit out flat. I don't know what I would call that. That's like almost like not a Sister Abigail. That's like an inverted like DDT or something. I don't know. But like spiking herself on the head like Rob Van Dam would back in the day. Just making that like look great. And the feat of strength, like fall away slam, Samoan drop.
Yeah.
With Willow and Harley Cameron, like that was insane. So, but yeah, great match for that's it's been actually really
You already
great.
knew when you looked at the bracket that it was going to be fire, and so like the fact that they're delivering on these matches and then giving you I guess surprising outcomes. Because again, you would think that
the dominance of them, I would honestly, I had
championships between the two of them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy.
I think that's probably the newest like current day news is like Mercedes had another 13th championship win.
Yeah.
Sometime this week. I forget which one it was, but something. But yeah, that's our primos. For me, I had Brodito for my first mid. I like the Brodito and FTR brawl / segment. That was because what added it to me. I watched like the behind the scenes of Bandito's grandma, his abuela, coming to watch him wrestle and stuff. And I think that was last week they released that, but like clearly this was like the match she was watching and having the interaction with FTR where she's like, Dax Harwood is like, oh, how about a little kiss for me or whatever, and she slaps him because Stokely locked Brodito in their dressing room. Doing great, phenomenal stuff from him. He was really on his Paul Heyman shit. I mean, he is obviously the best.
Spoiler, he's a champion for me this week.
Yeah, he was great in that segment. Like it's the Bill Simmons overacting, but like in a good way, like in the best way, because freaking Brody just punches through the fucking door and like basically strangling him. They bust their way out, just brawl out there. Real fun segment. I just felt like I needed to acknowledge it.
Of what was the TV show that he said that was on HBO Max?
Oh yeah, are you watching? Wasn't it Soprano or no? The Wire. The Wire. Yeah. Promoting The Wire. He's just standing there watching it on his phone. Like, which is funny because I was like, I see what they were doing there, but I feel like it's still like a dumb move from the heels for you to leave your manager back there with them because the door's locked, but it's like he's a non-combatant, so. And he's the talker also. So it should really be like him and Dax out there. And then like Cash is back there.
Hey, but you got a door locked, man. You should be able to keep the door locked.
Yeah, right.
You didn't think he was going to punch through the door.
Yeah. You didn't think that Kane and Big Show were going to crash through the wall.
Yeah.
But I actually really enjoyed that segment. So I felt like that was that's probably the most I've enjoyed like FTR. And like, I think it's definitely Stokely because of that, like in this whole segment. But like the fact that this wasn't even like a match, but just a build for it, I really enjoyed it. So
I'll give you that. We did agree upon the Ops retaining over Kingston, Hook, and Hangman. That was a fun match.
Yeah.
And then Joe's been killing it ever since being here, which is not surprising at all. But he's really good.
How is it that he can so quickly go into like a delusional, pissed off heel? Like just he doesn't see any fault with anything that he's doing. You know what I'm saying? But what was funny about this was part of what is this opening segment or second segment?
Opening segment.
Yeah, and because you said like Hook comes down and you were like this fucking teenager. Like, oh man, how about you? He's like, well, I see the three of you. There's three of us. How you put those tagged or the trio's titles on the line? Not as bad, nowhere close to as bad as Kaylani. But like you said, I think just the baby face assassin of it all. It's like, bro, what are we doing here? Like, I don't know.
And Joe was like, yo, you ever talk about me like that? Like, oh, he did a really good job. Again, the delusionalness of him was really good. And then the match was fun. Hangman getting put through a table off the stage.
Yeah. They made Powerhouse Hobbs look great. He did some heavy lifting in this for sure. Yeah.
And then he ends up getting tapped out
with the torture rack.
Yeah.
Which you believe is a massage good feeling.
The way that he could probably play it off is like, yo, I'm a chiropractor right now. I'm a trained chiropractor, and I can put you in this move and give you basically reprieve that looks like pain. My other mid that I had that I enjoyed this match was Darby Allin over Daniel Garcia. I thought that was a really good match. Darby looked really dope. There was a lot of great sequences between the both of them. Darby was also creative in some of his, intense wrestling moments when he was like, I liked when he had the elbow on the ring post and then was kind of like banging it in. I was like, that makes sense. Now, when he started biting him was another thing. But,
you were like, how is this not? You were like, how is it? Because he had like Daniel Garcia's arm and the steel steps, and he ran and drop kicked it. Yeah. And you were like, how is that not a disqualification? And I was like, the steel steps aren't a weapon until you pick them up. So it's like, that's just structure of the ring.
That's just logic. Yeah. You're like a structure of the ring. I was like, okay, that's logical.
That's the kayfabe.
His head just so happened to be there. But yeah, I thought it was dope, and then Darby winning with the Scorpion Deathlock was really dope.
Yep.
So.
No, yeah, reversing, because I think he called it, because when Daniel Garcia does it, it's the Dragon Tamer, because he's like grabbing at your knees or whatever. I don't know why. That's the specific, different grip versus the sharpshooter and the Scorpion Deathlock are the exact same thing, just different name. But yeah, he really, and that's the thing is that like with them being smaller guys with those submissions, it really gets over. Like he really cranked that thing in there, and you could see like.
Well, he kind of applies it differently because, like, the way like Bret Hart and like
he does apply it differently. Yeah,
like The Rock would do is like even Natalia, they twist both your legs and then turn you over. This one, he kind of bends your leg here and then pulls the other one across.
Yeah, and then he's holding on both legs or holding on one leg, just holding or both hands,
while the other one is kind of sitting across.
Exactly, but that's his grip. I really like that. But yeah, because the traditional is just like this, so always under the armpit. But yeah, that was a good one, and honestly, that's one of the. It looks good. I mean, I want to say it looks good. At least Daniel Garcia is on TV. I'll say that. But yeah, he was. Of course, he's a great wrestler. I really liked his TNT Championship run. We know he's in the middle of his character change, so he just got turned into the new whipping boy of the Death Riders. So it's not the fact that I'm like he should have won this because he shouldn't have, but that's why I'll say be nice and be like, at least he was on TV. I'm glad that we haven't forgotten.
Maybe it's him again continuing his path of running through the Mortal Kombat ladder of the rest of the Death Riders. Like I took out Moxley, cool. Now I'm still coming out the rest of you guys, and then maybe it leads up to him trying to beat Cesaro, and Cesaro actually the one that actually beats Darby, and it's like, all right, I'm the head of the table now.
You're the one for one prediction that I have. Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what's going to happen to my mind because. We've already said that he's lost control and nobody can get over on this guy or nobody can get one over straight up. That's how we do things. I mean, we'll come beat your ass afterwards, but that's exactly how it's running in my head. Like, why the hell is this 160-pound man beating everybody? Claudio's gonna have to fucking break him in half and it'll be like a motivational coaching thing, and then Moxley will get in his face, it'll get under his skin, and then. We'll just have that, sort of Okada and Takeshita thing, right now.
Yeah.
And then we'll see it implode. But the first shake that I had to bring up the Wikipedia for it, was just the fact that we're getting our first women's blood and guts. So that match is Jamie Hayter, Willow Nightingale, Harley Cameron, Toni Storm, Mina Shirakawa, and Chris Statlander. So this is 6-on-6. Holy shit. They threw all the women in here. Versus the Triangle of Madness, which is Julia Hart, Sky Blue, Tekla, Megan Bain, Marina Shafir, and Mercedes. There you go.
Okay. I would replace Marina Shafir with Athena.
I like it. This is where they're really trying to get the Triangle of Madness over, and Megan Bain really has to be in there. I really have enjoyed Marina Shafir, the build they've done with her.
Yeah,
and this actually because I have this as another.
I just have it because she doesn't really wrestle that much. That I'm I'd rather have someone like Athena in there.
Well, this is why I do like it. It's because, well, first off, Athena is on another brand, and we know anytime Athena's here, it's very temporary and sort of she can just pop up when necessary, basically. Like, so
Yeah.
they've really been building Marina, and let me actually bring up the notion. It was she actually used her, she was in a match and used her, what I must assume is her finisher, but because I know they call it Mother's Milk,
Mhm.
and leading into her character being like the mother of like the AEW title and all that type of stuff when Moxley was holding it, because this was on Collision. But I was like, oh yeah, it's like sort of like a front facing Cobra clutch, because like she has both of your arms captured, but she's leading basically the blade of her forearm is choking you out. So it looks like she's basically shoving her tits in your
Mhm.
face. That's what it looks like, hence Mother's Milk. But I was like, I know that looks familiar. And that's like this French guy, I believe he might be American, I'm not sure, but a UFC fighter. And it's called the Von Flu choke. But
Okay.
that's where it's like, because that's one of those like sneaky submissions. If you're watching UFC,
Mhm.
that's real fighting. And
Mhm.
she comes from that background. And like if you're watching it, you're not even realizing that the guy is like getting choked out
Mhm.
until he taps. And you're like, oh
Yeah.
shit, like how did this happen? And then they have to show you the grit of
Yeah.
it. And it's like some shit like this.
You're like pinning down like that.
Yeah,
Like,
and she's
yeah.
like grabbed the back of your head, and it's like a front. Like she's holding you so close that you
Mhm.
can't do anything.
Yeah.
Basically. And she used that to put, I forgot who she put to sleep, but that was in a match. And she also contributed to this with an appearance later on, which that would lead me into my champion of the week, but I'll get to that later. But the last shake I had on here, which we agreed on, was the little promo segment we have of the Demand and the Hurt Syndicate, but it was really
Mhm.
more so about the talkers. This is more a talking segment of just MVP putting Lashley over as a fucking unit for the new AEW national title, and
Yep.
Ricochet just saying the same thing, basically,
Yep.
that we're both the best and we're both going to win. So, like I said, that's the only other current event actually, because I don't know if I'm sure you heard this, but there was like a response to like the declaration of like the AEW national title, which I didn't even know was coming,
Mhm.
honestly. So that honestly, I saw that was announced in social media, not even on the show. It might have been on Collision. I'm not sure, but the reaction I got from NWA, which is still a promotion, is that NWA has a national title,
Mhm.
and that's their like intercontinental. That's their like workman's or workhorse title, and there was a huge like response from uh I guess a more than triggering person who's on the NWA roster talking about you're not going to steal our heritage and there's
Yeah.
only one national title that matters. And then the very next thing I see in the social media post is like, this guy is not a good person, like at all. That's why he's not on TV at NWA, because that's the only place he can get a job. And it was like all connected to like the speaking out movement of like, that went through the wrestling industry, same time as like Me Too and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, this guy is the one standing up talking about we need to like being just putting extra sauce on it. And it's like,
Mhm.
bro, you're the last person that's gonna be saying anything right now.
Yeah,
But
I didn't hear any of that.
yeah, so that was a current event that happened in social media, because
Okay.
the actual US or the actual national
National
title holder of NWA, his answer was like his tweet was like very wrestler,
Mhm.
what you would expect. There's only one national title that matters and stuff like that, where the other guy seemed like a lot more of a ramble,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And then wrestling fans were like, hey, shut this guy up, kind of. So that all entered my algorithm at the same time, because like I said, I even caught the national title for AEW announcement
Mhm.
on there. So, but we got it actually on TV in acknowledgement. So,
I
yep.
had this shake just for the fact
Shake,
that
yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, we got a new title on here. Okay, I don't know why. What makes this unique or different, or how are we going to establish it? Whatever, like we'll figure that out. I like it for the fact that Lashley is going after a singles title, though. Again, like I'd rather and then you also continuing the feud with the Demand. I'm just like, man, like
Yeah, that's tough that we're in the soul brother vortex basically between them. Uh and yeah, that's all I had,
yeah, same here.
honestly. My last thought, I guess. they're just bringing up, like, I honestly believe, like, when I saw that, the national title in, like, this segment, it made me think of, like, when Booker T came to TNA
Mm-hmm.
and they created the Legends Championship. It feels like this is the championship you're giving him because he's not touching the AEW title or the Unified Championship. That's what it feels like.
That's disappointing. If that's
It
the
is.
case.
That's what I think it is. I think they're giving him this because he's not getting either one of those
I
two.
can see Ricochet winning this first.
That'd be amazing for Ricochet, honestly. Because, I mean, for him, it's like, I mean, Lashley's way more established as far as, like,
Mhm.
being a legend and shit. But, like, I mean, of course, Ricochet is impressive, but, like, you need those, like, when you talk about greatest of all time, sports or
We're
sports
talking about
entertainment.
workhorse, like that's Ricochet.
Exactly. When you talk about sports or sports entertainment, like, the greatest ability is availability. And that man has always been amazing, but you need those accolades so
Yeah.
people remember you. And you also build a title up. So, you know, just like they had the international championship and we was getting banger matches, and that was like
Mhm.
Orange Cassidy made that title matter, you know, with 37 or 42 defenses or whatever it
Mhm.
was, and like him, Moxley, because that run actually happens off of a botch.
Yeah.
Moxley was the international champion and he wasn't supposed to win.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's how that starts. And then OC makes up for it and it's like basically does the Cena, you know, US title open challenge run, you know, putting that shit on on the line every night. Ricochet could do
And
that.
like I said, he has also like the squad behind him that he could still like give you a bang of a match, but still win in a heelish fashion with like outside interference and whatnot. So I think that was more likely to happen than Bobby, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bobby won.
Maybe just
but I
Bobby just
think,
beats him first, or like, you know, in his first like rematch, you know, or something.
Maybe.
He'll be the second, you know, national champion,
Yeah.
and Ricochet can have it first.
Uh, anything else from Dynamite?
No, that's it. That's it. Pretty good
Let's head
though.
over to the gallery for the book of wrestling. All right, 3 on the docket as usual. Which one do you want to start with?
I'm gonna go with the most historic of all of these. This was something that I just don't. This is like I just didn't know this at all. But this is from this week, November 8th, 1975, 50 years ago. Holy crap! To the day, today. The longest AWA World Heavyweight Championship reign in history was ended in St. Paul, Minnesota. Vern Gagney's 2,625-day reign, which is 7 years, 70 days, Jesus, was ended at the hands of Nick Bockwinkel. That's a Midwestern ass name. For real. The winner would go on to hold the title for over 4.5 years himself, the second longest reign ever, meaning that the AWA championship changed hands just once in 12 years. Like, that is, man, you talk about being tired of booking.
Yeah.
Like, man, that's nowhere close. I mean, Roman's nowhere close to that.
No.
It's not even half of that, but it's close to half. But
7
man,
years as a champion.
that's
Crazy.
insane. Yeah, but how about that for some wrestling history?
I will go with the most recent one, and that's on November 7th,
This would also be our match for the week too. Moment and match.
2017. We got a surprise title change, even though how can it be much of a surprise? But at a SmackDown taping in Manchester, England, AJ Styles defeated Jinder Mahal to win the championship. The title change was the first time any version of a WWE title change had changed hands outside of North America.
So that's more so the surprising part, or like I guess you know, say the interesting stat part, where it's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, the WWE title has never changed hands outside of America up until 2017. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of crazy.
That makes sense, especially for like how they were trying to like market the TV shows. Where again, like anytime they do these shows in Europe, they were always just kind of like house shows that just so happen to be on television. But now they're like, oh, we can so easily move across the globe that we can have
in the modern era.
changes.
Yeah,
you know, in different places. Okay. When I read it, I read the first sentence and I was like, AJ Styles defeated Jinder Mahal. I'm like, to win the championship. I'm like, duh.
Like,
You know what I'm saying?
And it's on SmackDown, so you're like,
Yeah.
what in the world? But like, just the fact that it's okay, you got to give the people something. That was probably, I would guess, more than likely the day before a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. Our last entry. This is our childhood memory. I had this entrance in here as like same episode, really, just because this is also a this week I learned because both of these moments are already so well known. We don't need to put the clips in here. But this was November 4th, 1996. A rookie named Rocky Maivia, who's most known, went on by the modicum of fame as The Rock, made his televised debut in the WWF by getting involved in a melee following a match between Goldust and the Stalker. And more famously, this episode of Raw was infamous for the angle when Stone Cold invaded Brian Pillman's home in order to attack his former tag team partner. The reason the angle took such a controversial slant is that Pillman pulled a gun on Austin while defending his home. The angle was condemned by fans, critics, and regulators. And we know that it cuts to off screen, as he pulls a gun. And I was just like, oh, wow, this was the same episode. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all.
The Rock one is just
that's a very potent episode.
Before he even like debuted, I believe.
Yeah.
Because that was when he debuted in Survivor Series. I want to say. So.
He's just involved in a melee, so we don't even know who he is at that point.
Yeah, he was just one of a bunch of wrestlers that just come out that just kind of like break up a fight. Like I don't even think he actually like
my buddy Cole. He was a backstage hand that got.
He had in that debut as a character. He was going to debut in like a couple weeks at Survivor Series. But I rewatched that episode, and obviously with hindsight, I'm like, oh damn, that's The Rock right there. That's crazy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and the Pillman episode, that was crazy too. Even just rewatching it, like, yeah, man, like. Even, I think you could possibly, do you think you could possibly pull that feud off, whether it be WWE or AEW, where like someone would get into like that heat of
like where a gun is used again?
Yeah, and that's saying like, could you recreate that same kind of thing in a similar fashion? Obviously, you don't want to be like a 1-for-1 remake of it, but basically getting to that same point where like a wrestler comes to another person's house and then he has a gun and stuff like that.
Yeah, actually,
like people would believe like this is real tension. Or do you think this is like cape?
I got it.
Understand this is the concept.
There's only one way you could do it. Yeah. And you could build the tension. I would love to see that. I'm trying to think of, because you got to do it as a movie scene. It has to be a cinematic. I'm not doing this as like.
No, it can't be a cinematic.
No, it can't
free
happen.
Cam, like we're covering this shit. Just like okay, like
no, I don't believe that. I could believe a cinematic of fucking Swerve and Hangman.
Yeah.
And like I want to see like Swerve on some like Denzel in like Training Day, but he's like the gangster this time, and he like, because we already got him burning Swerve's house down. He burned the gimmick to the ground. It's like whose house? Swerve's house, and he literally burned the house down. We know there's always a permanent undercurrent between those two, and like if I could see a cinematic of like Swerve like threatening him with a gun, but I would believe that tension. But there's no way like we talk about like a usual episode and like you said following like live. No. And I'm all for that, but no, I don't believe it. I think I would look at that kind of crazy. It would need to, I think a cinematic would be fine, and I think it would be amazing too, actually.
If Jay pulled a gun on Jimmy.
Yeah, that's great. You tweaking. Oh, I love you. You my brother. Like, that's gotta be Remo. Oh, that's fucking Star Wars right there.
Jay breaks into their house to play with his nephew.
No, that's Jimmy. That's Jimmy yelling to Jay. You are my brother, Jay, and he's got the gun on him. Like that's exactly, but it's just Obi-Wan and Anakin.
That'd be crazy.
That's nuts.
Wow. I'm just like, could you get it to the point where like people genuinely believe this is real? Yeah. Because obviously you could portray it on television as like no different than any other prestige TV drama, right? I'm talking about like in the Stone Cold Steve Austin and Brian Pillman fashion, where it's
that was a wrestling
real.
Camera.
Like this feels real. Like they have legit beef. Yeah. And that it looks like he might actually pull this shit.
Yeah, because that wasn't, like you said, that was an extension of the live show. That was part of the live show versus being pre-recorded. Like, because the camera's like shaking and stuff. Oh my god! Like it's like, that breaks kayfabe in the sense of, like you said, it's like, oh, this is real because that means that the cameraman and crew just witnessed like attempted murder. You know what I'm saying? Like their lives were put in danger. Reckless, discharge of a firearm. probably possession of a firearm by a felon. I'm sure Brian Pillman's a felon, like as a character.
Yeah,
Like,
character, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like, come
The
on now.
madman or whatever.
Yeah, he's
loose
absolutely
cannon. That's what he was.
Yeah, the loose cannon. He's definitely a felon. But yeah, we chewed on that a bit. But I think I outdid myself this week. That was pretty potent. Historical,
Yeah.
relevant, and then like, oh, look at that. Basically, that's how I looked at this entry I put together.
Let's get into the last show of the week. Boutique. SmackDown. Pretty decent show. Best thing I had on here, we agreed. Ilya Dragunov retaining against Johnny.
Yeah, this was a great match. Actually held my attention as we're usually talking through as you come over on Fridays. But the back and forth was absolutely great. Johnny hitting his signatures, inside out and outside in, like tornado DDTs and spike DDTs. Like Ilya looking great, but love the finishing, showing off the strength sequence to put Johnny down. Like he's standing on the apron, I believe, or he's actually on the lower. No, he's on the lower, the bottom turnbuckle. Ilya's on the second one. So he does like effectively a deadlift superplex, roll out into his H-bomb finisher for the 1, 2, 3, which I thought was great. It did start with like Tommaso Ciampa saying like put the title on the line, and stuff like that. And I'm like, and it was a little bit of a mind game from Ilya to be like, oh yeah, I'll put it on the line against him.
I mean, but yeah, it's always on the line. It's an open challenge.
Well, true, yeah, but I'm just saying, fucking with Tommaso.
Yeah,
that's all. So I was like, I wonder if this is like, I don't know if it was building anything, but like,
I mean, again, Tama Tonga has been teasing for the title belt with Ilya Dragunov the last couple weeks, just kind of getting in his face.
Oh yeah, Tama Tonga, yeah, for sure.
And then that's the thing where again, not only Ilya, but Ilya's been able to pick up where Sammy has left off, is that these U.S. title open challenges have been really entertaining and fun to watch on a weekly basis because A, you have the talent to kind of support it. Because we still have to see Carmelo.
Yeah.
Miz will probably get one. Maybe Trick gets one, debuting. And everyone feels like a legitimate threat to possibly, like, you're going to get a great match, but then you're also going to be like, yo, there's also there's a better chance than not that you might see a title change.
I think that's an advantage of also like Ilya. This is like kind of a blessing in disguise where it's like Ilya's been out. So it's like he's also building himself at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Where we know already, if you're already like a wrestling fan and like this isn't brand new to you with Ilya, what he's doing and everything. Like he's actually one of like 3 guys to pin Gunther at all.
Yeah.
So he's amazing in ring. You talk about work rate, and really trying to turn like the US title into like the other like legit like workman's work rate title. Like that's what it is right now when you have the open challenge for that thing. So yeah, he's like you said, he's holding up his end of it. Like this relay race was perfectly handed off.
Yeah,
the title was perfectly handed off into great matches. So, and this is all. It doesn't feel tired because, like I said, I mean, Ilya just came back, so I'm just glad to see him. The other primo that I had up here was Cody, obviously retaining up against Alistair, but I just enjoyed the. I had the thought of like when Zelina came down and like taunted Cody earlier on and like slapped him and everything.
Yeah.
Like how much like Alistair and Zelina are just too much of like an exact echo of Scarlett. And Karrion. Now that we got another married couple working together with a sort of gothic theme or darker theme as heels, then it's like, okay, that's just if they knew that they were doing that already, then I guess I'm gonna say, of course it makes sense, but like, it's just like, that's just ringing in my head. That's all.
So then they could have seen it as like, we have 2 of the same toys. We could just.
Exactly. That's kind of, where they're just.
And they might like the Alistair and Zelina combination, especially they might feel a little bit more comfortable with like Zelina doing more in-ring stuff.
Yeah, because Scarlett's a non-combatant. Exactly. So you have
even though she can wrestle, like, she does wrestle.
Yeah,
they just don't let her wrestle.
That's the advantage of keeping Alistair and Zelina. Like you said, you got a women's US title winner. So it's like let alone like we know she had her moment 2 years ago in Puerto Rico. So it's like she's already a more than made product. Like I could argue that Zelina's the most over out of all four of those people. You know, at least as far as the WWE crowd. So, but yeah, I enjoyed even the match. I thought the match was great all the way up until you get interference from Drew, but I thought Drew was great with his interference because
that's why I bumped it up to Primo, because originally I had this as mid rising, but no, I bumped up to Primo just for Drew.
I had it all of it.
He came in and bro kicked
or Claymore.
That referee, I was like, yo, he legitimately killed him, and then he was on top, like shaking him and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, this dude legitimately snapped it. And the thing is, again, what makes Drew's character so great is that he is an understandable heel, where it's like,
up until
he's not even really understandable, where it's like he's just like he makes sense. Because again, his frustration makes sense from the fact that like he's always getting screwed over, or like there's something that doesn't work his way, and it's like not him just losing his mind. It's like not on that Becky Lynch level. It's more of just legitimate issues of like, yo, there's something going on here where like
it's like a paranoia.
Something's always gonna pop off for me to not get what I rightfully deserve. And I said it last night when it happened immediately when he got suspended by Nick Aldis. He is winning the WWE Championship probably at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think he might. He's my. I'll put it on right now. He's probably my favorite to win the Royal Rumble, and I think he's gonna knock off Cody.
Yeah, he hasn't won the Rumble
at WrestleMania.
That's a great shout. For me, yeah, it was just the addition of all of it, like the whole of Cody and Alistair, and then getting Drew to come in and like take it up a notch. Like immediately, I said when he kicked the ref, I was like, oh yeah, I was like, man, Drew, this nigga tweaking. I was like, he don't give a fuck. So also within the kayfabe of it, like where they said Nick Aldis immediately coming out and suspending him, it's like, yeah, you can't kick refs, dog.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like you say that. Like, yeah, he's legitimately being screwed, but it reminds me of like when I was in my nuclear training, right? And they used to write messages like on them when they were grading papers, and there was like little acronyms that they would write, and it would be like right answer, wrong reason, you know, something like that. And then the one that it made me think of was, as you were describing it, was error carried forward. It's like, yeah, you had it, or you made a mistake in the middle of the math problem, and this is why it's fucked up. But I see why you're fucked up, and it's because you're saying that he's a reasonable heel. I understand that, but it's like you still landed the point of like, nigga, you can't claim more reps. Like you're a heel. Like at the end of the day, like it's without a doubt, I cannot be on your side. Like when you're just outside the bounds of shit, like fucking up the show.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
Yeah, I get it. Well deserved. Again,
and
something that the other general manager on Raw, Adam Pearce, wouldn't have the balls to do. And if he did, he would have done it in such a distressed manner. You see how Nick Aldis did it? He was like, yo, bro, like, what are we doing here?
He would have done it. Yeah, he just would have been yelling as he did.
Yeah.
And also the reason that it's Primo, because it was, like I said, all additive parts. I don't want to miss anything. I also said, as we were watching this, I said, oh, Alistair got up for work today. He was sharp in this match. Like, immediately it made me think of like, okay, this is like why he like came back to WWE, let alone obviously his wife, but like what we assume is, you know, him obviously being underutilized, the way that he went out and stuff, like with the Hounds of Hell and like the Kings of the Black Throne and all that, just being sort of put on the back burner, or him being put on the back burner specifically, and actually pushing the faction versus like him as an individual, and him having a title match with the champion on SmackDown, even though you know it's ending in a DQ or whatever. Yeah, he's like,
everybody's watching a DQ. You think you take that out, but I guess
and
it's still trying to protect them.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Cody though.
Yeah, but you knew he's not winning. Exactly. It's still predictable, but just him being aware he's in that spot, that was very evident to me that he was like on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he was as good as he could be, honestly, as I've seen him in recent memory. But for our mids, we agreed on both.
I predicted correctly.
Yeah, you did. We had Nia beat Charlotte. Wait, was it? Yeah, beat Charlotte.
Yeah, Nia beat
and
Charlotte.
Yep, and Lash had debuted and gave a sleeper hold to Alexa Bliss on the
Yeah,
outside.
now they're a
And
tag
they're
team.
friends now, officially friends.
I predicted that.
Yes, you did.
Proud of myself.
Mhm.
Kathy Kelly, like, who would have predicted? I did.
Mhm.
We have it on wax, Kathy. I will send it to you just so you have proof that somebody in this universe predict that correctly. Or maybe they listening to the show and they were like, hey, you know, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, right. It's just like one of their interns, that one like viewer we get every week. It's actually just popping in 10 minutes, writing notes down.
Yep. Oh, that's actually
good. Yeah, I was like, she was low key giving Alexa a hangman show.
Yeah.
Because she's so much bigger than her. That I was like, cause Anna Jay, like on AEW, she calls that the Queen Slayer. It's like, you know, basically a hangman where it's like, because she's not that tall, but it's like I think she was probably like 5'9", so taller than the average woman. And like you lean back with it and you just pull them up on their tiptoes and like that's it. So
I
would like that, but though I'll say the last bit I want to say for Lash, I did cringe a little bit in the backstage segment with Nia talking because Lash was emoting and not saying anything.
I thought she was doing good or emotes.
The emotes are fine, but I'm like, you're not an actual avatar. You can make noise. Like, I understand Nia's talking, but like Nia is talking about you. You can even under your breath be like, oh, that's so nice, or something like where she's just like making faces and like it was just, I think, way too overacted, especially like whereas in front of the camera where she was, like now she wasn't exactly in the middle, but she got a very good 25% of the screen.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, you can make noise. Like I just thought it was weird for her.
It's the first one.
I just thought it was weird. Just make noise.
I didn't mind it. I liked it.
Because I mean, if somebody,
I get it, but I thought for me it was different flavors. I enjoyed it. It didn't bother me. I actually rather enjoyed it. Other mid that we agreed upon, and this was a surprise. We talked about the U.S. Championship being a surprise. It definitely was, but on the women's side, we have a new women's champion in Chelsea Green, as we talked about briefly earlier.
This was I knocked it down because it wasn't a surprise in the moment. Because as the match was starting, and I realized that this was a title match, I said immediately, I was like, oh, Chelsea's going to win this. Because there was no, like, real, in my opinion, there was no real character built for Julia. That reign is more so, if you want to talk about anything being built, it's Kiana James. And, like, them two being just together as a unit, you know, more than, like, and we understand Julia's a great wrestler, too. But as far as like having a hook or like, you know, I still don't think there's a bond with the crowd yet between those two. Even though Julia had the title, I think it's kind of that situation where I was like, when Lyra won the Intercontinental, I was like, okay, now I'm starting to care. Where it's like, now I think Julia is in the memory of like main roster fans where they'll start to care now, hopefully.
Yeah, I do think this is, for me, the reason why it's mid because it's surprised that they changed the title, but I also understand why they changed it. It's somewhat predictable because I'm like, to your point, I don't think Julia's reign has been that memorable. But it's not anything really against her. I feel like it's more of like just booking and just kind of getting her. But I do think they do see something with this Kiana James relationship. And like it's been good. I do again have to say they need to add another person.
Yeah.
So just get a 3-person squad. But especially if you're gonna have an agency like representing people, you can't just have one client. But I do think this is to move Julia towards focusing on getting the WWE Women's Champion,
exactly,
and having that feud with her and Jade, which would be pretty good. I would have really enjoyed seeing that match.
That's exactly where I was mentioning earlier, where it's like now that Jade's champion, she's going to establish her rogues gallery. Like who's her challengers versus like when Charlotte's holding the title, it's this set of challengers, you know, or Bianca, somebody else. So
I definitely do think Bianca and Jade is probably going to happen at WrestleMania for the title.
Yeah, if it's not Charlotte, but yeah, because immediately, I guess it'll still take us to our shake. I put it in there just because it's worth mentioning. I could have honestly done without it, but I can't like not mention it where Jade just comes out. You know, we get the whole intro and everything. Her as champion and just her coming out saying, I'm that bitch. Like, very frank, very short. But the very first person that I see, the next music I hear, Charlotte.
Mhm.
And I was like, I said in the moment, I was like, oh God. I was like, yep, she's tying if she doesn't pass Cena, she'll at least tie her dad. For sure.
Like
Like,
I said, she's definitely gonna tie. I think.
yeah,
I
she's
think.
definitely
I
she'll
think she's not gonna pass Cena. Maybe she ties Cena.
yeah. But when I saw that, I was like, oh man, we're gonna. But then again, you said as a response to that, hey, maybe it's the exact same thing they did with Tiffany. Feed Charlotte to both of them to put them over. That's
Yeah,
great.
I could
That's
see
great.
Charlotte getting squashed by Jade.
Or the like you said, even better would be the other way around is returning Bianca. If Bianca returns and loses,
Mm-hmm.
cool. I don't know how the
Right now, I would have Bianca.
she's too over. Yeah,
I would have Bianca returning at the Rumble and winning the Rumble and challenging Jade at WrestleMania.
and
So
winning.
yes.
See, okay, that's my point. Where I'm like,
I
the
think,
exact same thing happened with Charlotte last year, and because I agree with you, where we had the exact same prediction last year, where it's like immediately you said when they was all brawling in the ring, and Charlotte, we had that vignette of Charlotte like on the jet and shit. It was like, young bitches aren't winning the tournament. That woman is winning the Royal Rumble, and she's winning the title, and she did. So the equivalent of that, like,
Charlotte won.
yeah, I know she won the Royal Rumble, but she lost at Mania.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
And I started with that she was going to win at Mania, but then I saw seeing the promos for how Tiffany was getting booked. I was like, oh, Tiffany's winning this.
Yeah, so if we could do that, I think that's a way better move. Where it's like having heel Jade beat. You want to talk about shock? Returning Bianca too, off of a broken hand. We ain't seen her in a minute. That's what stacks the chips up against her. But Charlotte even was like, she returned late-ish. She got vignettes and stuff. But I'm sure Bianca will get some too.
Again, I got Bianca returning at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And then winning the Royal Rumble. And
so
like in between January to April, still have time to like get some ring rust off of her.
Yeah. I would hope Jade wins that. That would be the best thing that could happen for her as far as putting her over. Honestly, being a serious champion.
I mean, again, if she took her out, just like if she already demolished Tiffany.
She's leveled up.
If she demolishes Charlotte and demolishes Bianca at WrestleMania, how would you feel about that?
I feel great as far as her being like the beast. I mean, I would just hope that her character is connected to that, more so. You know what I'm saying? Less planky. Not as bad as Kaylani. She's way better than her, but like you said, we're all fans and we all know that they need some work. People got different strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
But I would love that because that just puts her over all the more so. It's like the exact same play that you did last year with Tiffany and Charlotte. So but that's it. That's all I got from the boutique.
Same here. No pop-up, so we can head straight into Champions of the Week. I'll go with mine first because mine was pretty simple. It was kind of rehashing your FTR Bandito. But yeah, the star for obviously we said it was Stokely Hathaway. And I got to just give him the general Kevin Hart, I'm a grown little man title belt because he plays that short, hysterical kind of man-child character amazingly well. And not even just this segment, but just in general, that is just like a general recognition of just Stokely Hathaway and how he's just been killing it as a character. I can even do without the, I get no hose line, but it's still funny when you add to all of it. But like even not even having that and just everything else that he does as a character, he's been doing as a character, I've really enjoyed him. So give him to Kevin Hart. I'm a grown little man.
He was even great on commentary like last week. That's just great hearing his voice. He's on a hot streak with FTR for sure.
Yeah.
And my champion of the week, I told you this was an inspired phrase from my friend. I guess this would be more directly the Krasuski. That's her last name. But the first NMB NMP, which is Not My Baby, Not My Problem.
Yeah.
Title to Tony Schiavone. Because twice this week, this man ducked smoke directly.
Yeah.
So we got the segment of him, like in the beginning segment of Samoa Joe calling him out and being like, oh, so you got me for the setup? And he was just like, oh, I'm just trying to have a little fun. And it's like, yo, why would you fuck with Samoa Joe? Like you said, that's just not smart. And then I guess you're just being bold enough to be like, oh, I ain't got to worry about this shit because Hangman and like all these wrestlers come down for the save. But then my, favorite woman's character Tony Storm is on commentary during the Megan Bain match. And during that time, as I said, they've been building Marina Shafir. And Marina Shafir just attacks from the crowd, puts her in a headlock, and her character work is great. And she's literally hanging on to Tony, like with both of her hands, which I put in, the Notion doc. Mm-hmm. And she's like, Tony, Shivani, help me, help me. Like she's being pulled away by a killer. And he just pulls his hand away. Where I'm just like, you're just going to let Tony be killed, like right next to you. So I'm just like you said, both situations, not my that's exactly why it's appropriate. Not my baby, not my problem. He was like, I am a knock on bat and I do not do this shit. Like, y'all take care of this everywhere around me. So that's why he got it this week. I thought it was real entertaining. Like, where in kayfabe, we know he goes down. He's got 1 HP too. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you come so close to death, like so much. At AEW constantly being threatened and stuff, but I've really enjoyed that. I just thought that was silly with Tony Storm doing the legwork and that, but
that's fun.
Yeah, they put it up on the YouTube short, so it's like a quick 30-second thing.
Yeah,
great shot at that.
All right, and I think that is it for the show. And no pop-up shows for another few weeks, so you gotta cherish them while we got them.
Actually,
but take us out, Moody.
The same thing at the top. We appreciate you watching the Wrestling Re-Up. Do all the social engagement things. Follow us here on this channel. Like, comment, subscribe, and tune in next week, Saturday afternoon, for the Wrestling Re-Up podcast.
We out.